just hang out. I can answer any questions. If you guys have anything you want to ask me, by all means, hopefully we can get somebody to, maybe come on stage and, we can talk for maybe a little bit and, just jib and jab and, draw and all that. So yeah, hopefully you guys are all having a good morning. Let me share my screen real quick. Hold on. All right. This is Clip Studio Paint. This is what I'm about to do. Do you guys have any questions? Hold on. Let me see if there's any in the chat. All right, I don't see any questions, but I'm just gonna keep on talking. Apparently this is what I'm gonna be doing a lot in my Twitch streams. Just talking to myself for a little bit. So I gotta get used to it, I guess. I had a good day yesterday. It was a really good con. I hope that you guys enjoyed the con. There was a lot of big announcements towards the end of it all. If you guys have a question, then you can raise your hand. I'm not sure if you guys knew you could do that, but that's way you can ask a question. How long do you focus on sketches? Good question. It depends on, what the sketch is going to be. Like, for instance, right now, I'm going to draw a cool picture of Stud. So if my pen will work for me. There you go. I'm going to draw a cool picture of Stud. So, when I do the sketch, I'm just trying to think of something energetic and cool. I'm going to have him, basically just like holding his fists up and, just saying, yeah, I'm excited for, Saturday Con or something. So it really, it's just all about just getting it on the page and trying to figure out exactly what type of pose you want. As you continue on with the drawing, you can actually figure out how to, make it more solidified and, make it look a lot cooler in your style. Another thing that you can do, I'm not sure, again, if you guys heard me, you can raise your hand and, ask a question. What was your favorite panel yesterday, Jay? My favorite panel was, there were so many really good panels. I really enjoyed Kiera Please. She was really cool on her panel. I, really enjoyed that. I think my favorite panel was probably the very end when we were, kind of announcing everything, just to, just let everybody know that we have so much going on. We have been very, very busy. So, if you don't see me post a lot in the future, that is unfortunately the reason why. I'm going to try to post as much as I can, but, if I decide to take a break, that is, give me a break. If I decide to take a break, just let me do it. So, but anyway, I have that little outline. As you can see, I kind of like lowered that opacity. And now I'm going over with, darker pencils. This is where, I kind of still, kind of just solidify, his shoulders, his, the wrinkles in his clothes. This is going to be his hands. Do you guys have any more questions? Not sure if anybody rose their hand up, but if you guys have one, I am ready to answer anything. You guys are hearing probably in the background my phone right here. It is updating, and I need to silence it, but I haven't done so. So whatever, I guess. I'm just gonna hold on. Oh wait, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna silence it this way. If you guys have a question, raise your hand. I will answer anything. What pens do you use in Clip Studio Paint? That is a good question. I use the Real G pen. That is my favorite pen to use when it comes to drawing or inking. Pretty much anything. It just feels the most realistic to me. If you zoom in, it kind of still even looks kind of gritty. Like it's not like completely smooth, and I don't know. I just like that look, so I use those a lot. I use a lot of different pens now for sound effects. I think that is definitely something I need to explore even more. I've started using like the dry ink pen for, when people are screaming and they're either evil or not evil, but it's still like an intense scream. So I do a lot of things like that. Like I don't know, like it just kind of just depends. But yeah. Just hold on. Have you used CSP for mobile phones for manga on the go, like touch-ups? I have not used the Clip Studio Paint on phones. I know that that is a thing. I know that what was it? It was on Android, if I'm not mistaken. I know they had like some type of partnership with it, but I haven't done that at all. Unfortunately, I do not draw on my phone. If I did, I literally would probably draw every single day, every single moment of the day, because my phone is usually always with me. So I'm glad I don't draw on my phone, only because if nothing else, it gives me a small break, away from just constantly moving my wrist around. So when it comes to touch-ups, though, let's say there's a panel or a picture that like I really like, and I really want to just make it better or whatever. I'll just go back in and Clip Studio Paint whenever I get home on my Wacom tablet. I don't know. I like when people have tablets to draw on. I think that it is very convenient and really cool to just be able to draw anywhere. If you can find the time and a place to sit down, anywhere, then it's definitely something that I would invest in if you could do it. But me personally, I just don't have. I don't know. When I'm somewhere else, I try to just enjoy wherever I'm at. I try to just not think about drawing, because whenever I'm home, if I'm not hanging out with my wife, all I do is think about drawing. So I try to give myself breaks every now and then, and that's why I personally right now don't have an iPad. That might change in the future. Maybe when I'm traveling a lot more, maybe I need to get a lot of work done on the road. But all right, so as you can see, after you have this thing sketched out, I'm talking while I'm doing this, so it doesn't really look that good. But we're gonna try to fix that. I lower the opacity even more, and I make another layer. And this is when I zoom in, and I go in and I add the inks, and I try to make every stroke look as cool as possible. So watch me as I transform this picture into something relatively okay. If you guys have any more questions, by all means, I don't mind rambling on for a long time, but I assume you guys would rather have a question answered than just hear me laugh like every 4 seconds. Like, I don't know. So hopefully you guys enjoyed all of the cool panels yesterday. One of my favorite panels, like I said yesterday, was the last one, but another really cool one was when Fred was talking to all the CEOs from Media Do, from Coup Worldwide, and also the Tapis CEO. Or one of them. That was a really cool panel. Just to to see them all talk and go through the business side, and just I don't know. It was a really cool thing to see. So I don't know if you haven't watched anything. If you're watching this for the first time, if you just bought tickets, or if you're just watching this on YouTube, I'm not sure if this is live on YouTube or anything, but if it is, and you're watching this and you didn't see yesterday, you can watch yesterday. It's still on our YouTube channel. It's going to be on our YouTube channel for a long time. It is, however, 11 hours long, so maybe take off from work so that way you can enjoy it. Or I don't know. I mean, maybe one day we'll chop it up and make it into episodes or something. Like I don't know. I'm just an artist. I don't work on videos as much as I used to, because I am not that good at making videos. I like making videos, but unfortunately I haven't been on YouTube in a while because I just haven't had time to focus on it. So, for everybody that's asked that question, that is my answer. I want to get on YouTube in the future, but I haven't been on it in a long time. So how do you feel about screen toning digitally? Any preferred settings? So when it comes to screen toning digitally, I personally try to keep the screen tone as flat as possible, only because I know that, like for instance, yesterday, the tone that I did in my small panel where I was drawing the hair tutorial, I made the flat tone that I was doing into an actual screen tone by clicking that button, and it made everything look really cool. But if you apply that in a comic book page and you don't know what you're doing, or if you do it like sloppily, it can really muggy up exactly what you're seeing. Maybe I said that wrong. Like it can really like make it look a lot like the clarity is not there, and that's what's really important when it comes to comic books. You don't want to confuse the reader. You want them to look at a panel or a page and instantly know what's happening. Because once they get brought out of that experience, you've ruined it for them, even if it is for a second. I mean, that's I don't know. That's just one thing that I try to focus on a lot when it comes to comic books. So when it comes to comic books and me toning them, I try to keep the toning as flat as possible, or as minimal as possible as well. I try to only use it when I'm separating, maybe a person from another person, or an object, or if I'm trying to highlight an emotion, or I don't know. I think there's a few other comic book artists that do this. Masaaki Kishimoto. If you look at his, I looked at a lot of his tones, and he doesn't really tone a lot. He only uses it, like I said, to separate the background from from different people. He highlights different people when he uses tones. Like it's just he doesn't use them in a way that's overbearing, and I really like that. Not to say that he can't, or when other people would use it overbearingly, like that it doesn't look good. But me personally, I always like that aspect of it. It was never confusing to look at one of his pages. So that's the reason why I would advocate to not have a lot of heavy tones. But I mean, to each his own. So do your thing. Hopefully that answered your question. Are you going to watch Chainsaw Man, and what are your favorite anime? Oh man, Chainsaw Man. I loved Chainsaw Man, the manga. Oh man, that was so cool. That was like every week I would read it on the app, and it was great. So I am very much so looking forward to the anime. I think that's going to be really cool. And when it comes to every other anime, I love Mob Psycho 100. I thought that was really awesome. One Punch Man obviously is really cool. I hate the One Piece anime, but I love One Piece. So like, I mean, I think One Piece is like obviously one of my biggest influences. But I mean, I think the anime is just abysmal. Like the animation is horrible, and like I don't know, it's just horrible. So I mean, I will say that there are definitely a lot more improvements in this latest arc, Wano arc. And there's also certain movies and certain episodes that are look good, kind of like how Dragon Ball Z was in Toonami age. Every episode looks crappy except for those really good episodes. So I mean, that's how I feel about unfortunately anime in general. Like I rarely watch anime just to sit down and because I don't have time to do that. But I'll make time for certain animes. Like I said, Mob Psycho 100, One Punch Man, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, obviously. Like that's always amazing. And I would say, I don't know, there's probably a few other ones that I would make time for a lot. Gurren Lagann, that was one of my favorites. I might be another thing. I might be mispronouncing a lot of these, or maybe I'm pronouncing them the way I want to pronounce them. A lot of people, unfortunately, make fun of me on TikTok for the way I pronounce manga, because I pronounce it manga instead of manga. So I just want to say, don't get caught up on people and how they pronounce things. I mean, that's just their accent. Don't make fun of them. Like that's not okay. It's fine if they want to say manga. I've noticed before you have large collection of manga and comics yourself. Which title is the largest in quantity you have? I would say I have the complete collection of Dragon Ball. I have all of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but I have probably more of One Piece. Just because there's more volumes of One Piece. I unfortunately don't have all of One Piece in sequential order. There's some volumes that I'm missing. But yeah. I also have a lot of Toriko. I liked that. I have the beginning of Bleach. I have the majority of Naruto. Maybe Naruto is the largest collection I have. I think I need 10 more volumes, and then I'll have all 70. So I have about 60. So yeah, probably Naruto is like the biggest one, the biggest collection I have. But I have all of the Beat the Vandal Buster that they ever put out. I know that there's like 2 more volumes in Japan. I'm trying to actually order them. I want to get them soon. I have some Shaman King. I have Death Note. all of that, but that's only like 12 or 13 volumes. So I have a lot. I would like to have more space because I want to buy a lot more, but I do not have a lot of space left. So I need to get another bookshelf one day. All right. Wish me luck on my pitch session. Good luck, man. Good luck. I think if anybody out there that wants to put out their story, or pitch it to us, we're gonna have that at some point. I know that Fred, like I said, is going to give out the new schedule where he is, he's going to be announcing that when he comes up on at 10:30. That's also when we're going to be showing the second parts of all of our announcements. So definitely keep an eye out for that. All right. I feel as though I'm getting a little bit better at just rambling on, but when it comes to drawing and rambling on, I don't think I'm doing as good as I'd like. Like I think I'm doing okay, but whatever. All right. How do you handle scene changes? Like, for example, going from focusing on close-ups of characters to showing the environment. How do you make something like that seem smooth? I would say a lot of practice is involved. You just got to try a lot of things, and then you'll eventually figure out a sequence that works for you, and that sequence will be like, your style of, storytelling. I would also say you should probably look at a lot of different comics, not just one, several different comics, not just manga. You can look at French comics, you can look at American comics, but look at their storytelling, how they, structure their panels, and how they actually have that, close up, like that entire camera movement. It's you really gotta like just expose yourself to as much as possible to actually like absorb it all. And when you do that, you actually learn different camera angles that maybe you never would have thought of that could work. It takes a lot of practice. Another thing, however, to keep in mind when you do that though, is to keep in mind with the 180 rule. I'm not sure if I have time to explain this or if I'm going to explain it, entirely correct. But I have been trying my absolute hardest to do the best I can, when it comes to the 180 rule. And what it basically is, let me see if I can explain it like this. All right. So basically, if there's this line, this character A, let's say it's Stud, and then there's the bad guy, that was King Elefante from one of the last arcs. In every single panel, no matter what type of angle I have the camera, Stud is always going to be on this side of the screen, and King Elefante is always going to be on this side of the screen of that panel. And it's really difficult to. Oh wow, my head fell off. My hair is crazy, guys. It's really difficult to like fully get that concept down. Because it's, I don't know. Sometimes like you'll draw a scene and you'll think to yourself, yeah, I can just, move them around, and, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you can stick to that rule, that is a good way of not confusing the reader. Because when you like flip them from the 180 rule, if you move, let's say if I moved King Elefante on this side of the panel, while Stud is over here, like it can confuse you. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not explaining this entirely correctly, but hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, then I'm sorry. I know there's definitely a lot of other people out there that can probably explain this a lot better than me. I have been sleep deprived, and I am drawing as hard as I can. So like that is the reason why I am tired. But I really hope that if that didn't make sense to you, that you at least go check it out, because that will help your storytelling for sure. I learned about that from making comics from Scott McCloud's book. That book, if you read that book, it'll teach you so much about comic books, storytelling, and all of that. So I highly recommend it. But yeah, there you go. I rambled on for long enough. Do you collect anime figurines? I've been given a lot of anime figurines. I personally don't go out and buy them. Not because I don't want them, mainly just because, again, I don't have space. I have a lot up here, or not a lot. I have one, two, three, four. I have four figurines that are anime related, and then I have a Spider-Man figure where if you press this button, he'll say a quirky saying. So it's pretty cool. I just keep them up there. They look cool. If I had more, I would probably display them. My mentor, he has a lot, and he has like this case, and they look awesome. It's like a museum walking into his house. So, that's always awesome. All right. More is love, more is life. Just kidding. Since Saturday AM is going to print, how much editing went into preventing? If you're talking about editing for the books, there was a lot. There were certain things that I personally want to change inside the book. Maybe update inside of panels. I said this last night. I added an entire chapter, and I added 2 chapters actually, and I moved some scenes around. I also, there was a lot of grammatical changes as well, whether I had changed like the dialogue entirely or whether it was just grammatical errors, and we had to do that for, I don't know, 10 books, and it's we're still doing it, so it's a lot of work. A lot of people would think it's just 1, 2, let's go, but it's not. And the people that put that work in, Frederick, Raymond, Mitch Proctor, everybody that's working on all of our stuff is a rock star. They unfortunately don't get as much credit as they deserve, but they deserve it because they are amazing. So yeah, but there you go. Yeah, there was a lot that went into it. Hopefully, it'll become a smoother process as time continues on. Do you study real world? No. Do you still okay? Do you study real world locations when creating Kingdoms and Hammer? Thank you for putting it back up. Okay, so the answer is yes and no. Yes, in a sense that I know the general feeling that I'm going for, but I add a lot of different elements to make it my own, as well as also make it not too resemblant of a place in real life, because creating Hammer, I just want to create something that's fun. I just want to it's an escapism story. I want you to think to yourself, how Stud gets sucked into the book in the very first chapter is how I want you to get sucked into this book in this series in the very first chapter. I want you to not worry about anything that's going on. Granted, there are definitely themes that I touch upon in Hammer that I think can reflect certain things that happen in today, but ultimately I think it's just supposed to be a fun story. And with that said, I try to not make locations look too close to real locations. However, I have looked at certain places and thought to myself, okay, well, I want to take this element, and then I want to take this element, and then I want to take this element, and I'll add them all together, and I'll try to just give you something that's easily digestible, that makes sense for that environment and that part of the story, and that's usually what I do. So I have, however, for upcoming arcs, there's this one arc, the next arc that I hopefully will be working on in 2023. It's I'm already thinking about it right now. So there are definitely a lot of there's a lot of thought that goes into every arc, and I hope that you guys are enjoying this current arc. If you are, then raise your hand. Let me know. I'm not sure if there's a poll thing that we can do, or if you guys are reading Hammer. Hopefully you are, but yeah. So, do you read Undead Unluck? I have read chapter 1 of Undead Unluck. I read that fully, and I thought to myself, this is like drawn okay in terms of like there was a lot of action. Like I could feel what the action beats that he was going for, but it didn't tickle my fancy. Like it wasn't something that I wanted to keep on reading. Like you know, I mean, we all know what happens in the first chapter. Like I didn't want to know if he does anything else like in the next chapter, and so on and so forth. So I just, I don't know. Every now and then I'll go into a chapter and I'll look at like, how the art has progressed, or, maybe I'll read, a chapter or see what the artwork looks like, or, look at a fight scene. I do that for a lot of different series. And, I always do that because if if I find something that sparks my interest, then, I will, instantly like read the entire thing. I did that for One Piece after they got to like, I don't know, chapter 400 something. Like, so, and I mean, I don't know. I unfortunately, Undead Unluck has not, grabbed me to the point where I was like, yeah, I want to do this. But there are a lot of manga like that have not done that. My Hero Academia, unfortunately, is one of them. But I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that. But yeah, so I just kind of, I think I think Undead Unluck is for an audience, but I am not that audience. So I'll say that. When it comes to line art, how do you feel about manga where the line work is not thin and clean? My artwork is, I have thicker lines. I personally, I don't necessarily care. I think if it looks cool, then it looks cool. It doesn't really necessarily matter in terms of, your art style. If you can convey something very clearly, and the story is also extremely good, then it doesn't necessarily matter if the line art is thin. Like that doesn't matter at all. So, all right, this is the picture. Let me add his. Let me add his strap right here, and I'm gonna answer a few more questions. I know 10:30 is either here. It just got here. Okay, what was the first manga you've read? The first manga I ever read was from Tokyo Pop. It was Ragnarok. The first one that I ever bought was Dragon Ball number 4, Dragon Ball Z issue volume 4. There's Piccolo on the cover. It was awesome. And then I bought the entire series. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, I believe. Wait, what was the biggest challenge working on Hammer? What was the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge working on Hammer, sticking with it. There were several different times I left Hammer and I came back to the story, and I still have a lot of ideas in my head, but like Hammer was always an idea that I thought to myself, I feel like I've seen this character before. Like, I mean, I don't know what type of feeling it was, and I don't think obviously this character has never been created before I drew it. But I mean, my point is that like I felt a connection that like made me like think to myself, I have to do this character. Like, this character has to exist in media, in pop culture somehow, some way. And I thought, if I do the story the way I want to, if I do the story the way I envision it, then I can make that happen. So I'm very happy that I stuck with the story, but I feel like that was probably the biggest challenge. With that said, there are still definitely other stories that I plan to pursue in the future. So we will see what happens, but I am very excited for this story as well. How do you get into pitch lobby if you want to pitch your series? Again, Frederick, when he comes up here, he's going to explain a lot more about the rest of the schedule for the rest of the day. Hold on, I'm getting a message right now, which is not for me, so I'm gonna turn off my phone. But yeah, Frederick, he's gonna get in here. He's gonna give the entire the next panel, where he's gonna be announcing the rest of the announcements for 2022. And he's also going to be explaining the rest of the schedule for today as well. I think somebody is still on here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna try to reach out to somebody. What is something that a professor taught you that you use to this day? Ooh, that's a good one. I would say. So I've had a lot of different teachers. I actually was in talented art. When I was younger. That was a pretty cool experience. I remember this one teacher. His name was Mr. Townsend, and I had another teacher named Miss Danby, and they were really cool. I think they tried to expand my my art knowledge, and in hindsight, I kind of took that for granted. I feel like I probably should have paid attention a lot more, but I definitely was very grateful for them just taking an interest in me, and that I really like that. Other than that, I would say my mentor Rashad Doucette, he was very integral in my development of drawing, storytelling. One technique that comes to mind was a perspective technique that I remember he taught me when I was in elementary school. I've known him since I was like 10 years old, and it was like the dot that you have in the middle, and you have like everything go to that dot. And I just remember when I was a kid, learning this technique, that it was just like awesome. So that was another cool thing that I liked. But yeah, those are some cool techniques. My brother, he taught me a lot. Yeah. What is a piece of art that you made that think you did really, really well on? I think the book Lemonade Code that came out with Oni Press last year, January 21st. So, the year anniversary is coming up, which is pretty cool, actually. I think that book came out very well. There's actually a cameo of me. I drew myself with a Saturday AM t-shirt. So if you guys can find it, then, tweet it at me, because I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that book came out very well. I would say another... I really like... There's a double page spread and a cover. Issue 20, I think it was 125 of earlier this year or last year. Hold on. Let me see. It was the issue that we announced our Flick Solitaire video game. I had the cover with Stud, and there was a double page spread. I really liked those. Those are probably two of my favorite Hammer pieces. But I'm trying to beat myself, so hopefully you will see something cooler in the future. How do you feel about learning realistic anatomy to push your artistic style? I think learning anatomy is very important. I do think that you can push it in a way to where it still will look good if you draw something cartoony. And that's what I try to do. I try not to, again, when it comes to drawing, my entire philosophy, how I think about it anyway, is I'm just trying to have fun. I want to make the most fun thing that, can ever be, consumed. If that can possibly happen in comic book form, I would like to be a part of, making that happen. And I think that when you get hung up on something too much, it can really hinder, your mindset, your growth and all of that. Granted, with that said, I do think learning anatomy, like I said, is very important. I think that, through mistakes, you'll learn a lot more. If you study it, you'll learn a lot more, and eventually it will incorporate into your style, and hopefully you're still having fun while you do it. So I would suggest do what feels right for you. Me personally, I took art one. I took drawing classes. I had to draw with that pencil, and my thumb and doing all that. I had to do that. I had to draw skeletons. I had to do a lot of stuff. And, I know enough about anatomy to say I can care about this when I want to care about it. So that's how I usually, think about it when it comes to, especially for pinups and stuff like this. I think this is a pretty cool picture, but the anatomy is obviously off. So hold on. Again, I keep on having more and more people that are messaging me. I apologize. So, all right, how many chapters do you have in mind for Hammer? Is that a radar? Awesome. I think so. Originally, when I originally planned out Hammer, it was I wanted every volume to be an arc. Now moving forward, I think starting with volume 5, probably I will have that vision come true, and every volume will be an entire arc. So with that in mind, I think if I plan it right, I could potentially finish this entire series around chapter. I mean, I don't want to give you guys a number because I don't want you to expect something. But I mean, let's say it's more than 80. I'll say that. So I mean, if it gets to where I want it to get to, it'll be pretty awesome. But we'll see what happens. So, but I'm looking forward to making it as enjoyable as possible. Hopefully, you guys will support it. And when you do, that will, not only invigorate me and energize me to draw more and, entertaining work for you guys, but also it will, fuel the production of these as well. Because eventually I want to hire assistants. I want assistants to help me with backgrounds, and probably just backgrounds because I like drawing too much. But yes, I would love that. In the future, I right now I'm having too much fun, but I'm starting to get a lot busier, and I can totally see that happening in the future. So yeah, but when that happens, I'll probably work on a lot of different projects as well, and maybe Hammer will exceed that number that I have in my head that's larger than 80. That potentially might be 3 numbers. So yeah, we'll see. So. Any more questions? Do you guys have any more questions, or am I just talking? Oh man, I think I've gone over my limit. Is anybody? Hold on, let me see if you guys are good. Oh wait, somebody's coming up. Hello. All right. Oh yeah, hey, how's it going? What's going on, Jackie?
Hey, it's going good. It's going good. I just want to let you know, Fred will be on in a few minutes. So if you guys have any more questions, we'll get to the last ones, and then Fred will hop up right on stage and start.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, raise your hand. Put it in the chat. Let me. Don't leave me hanging up here. let's do this. Ask me anything you guys want. You guys want to learn something about Hammer? Do you want to see me draw another picture? Hold on. I can do that real quick. I'm going to draw. Do you guys want me to draw a character from Saturday AM, or, another character from Hammer that you guys want to see? First person to raise their hand and put it in the chat. I'm doing it. Oh, man. You guys are very enthusiastic. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. All right. All right, cool. Let's do I'm thinking Tara. Tara is Stud's mother. And I think there were a lot of people who told me that they liked her. And I like drawing her. This is usually, again, how I start pictures. It's super messy, doesn't matter. I just kind of get the shape of, what I want to draw. A little smaller. If you guys have any more questions about comic books, or my experiences, or drawing, or any tutorials or anything like that, again, feel free to put it in the chat. But until then, this is Tara. Do you have a playlist of music that you listen to while drawing or writing to help inspire you? Yes, I do. I don't really have a set playlist. It kind of varies depending on my mood, and sometimes it varies depending on what's on YouTube, as well. I'll try to just pick something that I think sounds cool on YouTube. I like Khalid. That I usually put him on when I want to get into a cool vibe. That's just like chill. I like listening to a lot of anime OSTs, like One Piece. Definitely, I think that's a really cool soundtrack. Joe Hisashi is probably the one that I've watched the most. Joe Hisashi, he has a concert where he goes over. It's like a medley of Studio Ghibli music, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. Like I can't, not listen to it every now and then. So, do you write scripts for chapters? If so, how far in advance? So, it kind of depends on what you mean by scripts. I don't write traditional scripts ever. Usually, I usually try to draw thumbnails when I go through the dialogues and actions and all that, because I see it better visually in my head. So that's how I draw or write a script. However, I do plan out arcs at a time. When it comes to Hammer, like I planned out that entire story, chapter by chapter, and that's why I know what the number is on how many chapters it is. However, I also personally want to make the story as enjoyable as possible, whilst also not prolonging it needlessly. So like I'm trying to, but like there are also, with that said, like arcs that I have in mind that I would like to add, and all of that. So with that said, I have them all written down. I have the core story written down. I know how long the core story is. I know how long the other arcs that I have are. If I can somehow find a way to put it in, to where it matches the timeline that I have for myself and for the story, then I'll try to make that happen. But when it comes to writing it out, I don't unfortunately do that. But I am extremely far ahead when it comes to knowing exactly what needs to be done. So yeah. On average, how long does it take you to draw a page? Kind of depends on what I'm doing. Like for instance, today I was procrastinating, and I was also very tired when I woke up. So I am technically still working on that page. I think I was on the last panel right before I started this panel. So haha. But I I am it took me, unfortunately, that page, it should have took me like an hour and a half, and it took me like 2.5 hours. So again, it just kind of depends. If I'm not procrastinating, or if I'm just focused on something, it takes me anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours, depending on the page. So if the page is like really, really detailed, or if it's double page spread, or maybe there's a lot of detail in the background, or maybe there's a lot of people. There's several different variables. So it really just varies depending on the page. But I think normally it's about an hour to like between an hour and 3 hours. So yeah. How many chapters do you have in mind for Hammer? I am not going to answer that question. I do have a number, like I said, but I can't answer it because it might change. It might be a little less. It might be a little more. Again, it kind of depends on you guys. If you guys like the story of Hammer so much that I'm seeing a lot of good sales, there's a lot of buzz around it. I think that there will be a time when that happens, because I like Hammer a lot. I think people that like stories like Hammer will love Hammer as well, and I think that once it gets out in the public's eye, it's gonna have it'll shine. But yeah. All right, so this is Tara, guys. Woo! I drew Tara super quickly. What? Boom. You guys want to see me color her really quickly too? see if I can do that. If you guys have any more questions, yeah, tips for drawing cover art for your comics. That's a good question. I would say it kind of depends on what type of style for your comic that you're going for. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you're drawing, what is that comic called? Oh my God, it's an Image comic. It's really popular right now. Where are the children going, or why are the children missing, or it's something to that effect. And it's like a zombie. It looks like a zombie type of thing, and it's really cool. It's like a horror story type of vibe. So a lot of their covers look and have that gritty coloring, and they just have that feeling of, looking like it could be a horror story like type of comic. I haven't really looked at this comic a lot, so I'm sorry if I'm misrepresenting this comic. From what I've seen, this is the vibe that I get from just the covers, and also, but it works for like that type of story. I would say the same thing works for something like if you look at One Piece, their chapter covers. There's so much story in One Piece that he has to add more story to the covers. So, it makes sense. It's, it has that purpose. So, what I do is I try to take a panel or a scene or, something that looks cool within the chapter, and I just try to romanticize it and just make it look really cool. I'll change the angle, or I'll maybe I'll add a different element that's not in the actual comic chapter. But there's several different ways to do it. At one point I was drawing my characters in like one of the ideas that I had. I don't think I've done this, with Hammer anyway, but I would draw my characters on like magazine covers and stuff, and I would make them look like they were idols, like on magazine 17 or whatever. Like that was an idea I had, and I thought that would be cool to translate by drawing my characters like as like a movie cover, have them cosplay and like do all that. So there's several different ways. I think it just kind of depends again on what exactly you're trying to go for when it comes to what that cover is. My manga process. That's a tough question. I don't really understand it fully. So, I say it's tough because I'm not really sure what to, start. But, I guess I'll start from, what I usually do is after I come up with the ideas and, I think to myself, how the story is going to go and, who the characters are going to be and all of that, after I have all of that said and done, when it comes to actually creating the chapter, if that's what you're asking, I would say I usually start off with an outline of the chapter via sentences. So each sentence will correspond with that page. So I want in this page for this to happen. And no matter what I add in this page, or no matter what I, draw, as long as I, get that sentence finished on that page, then I'm done. And I do that for, however many pages I have. I write like 15, sentences for, every chapter of Hammer. And then after I do that, I've changed the way I do my thumbnails now, where I basically draw them digitally, and then I blow them up whenever I'm finished with them, so I can start working on the pencil stage. After I'm done with the pencil stage is when I work on inks, and then if there are any color pages, I'll color them, and then I'll add tones, and then I'll add words, and there you go. It's a pretty fun process. I do it every month now, but it's I try to get as far ahead as possible. But yeah, I'm getting messages that Fred is about to get on soon, so I'm going to try to finish this really, really quickly. If you guys have any more questions, now is the time to put them in the chat. Raise your hand, and I'll try to answer them real quick. As you can see, I am not going in the lines because I am in a rush. I'm trying to hurry this, so that way I can be done with it, and somebody else can get on, and I don't feel incomplete. So I'm rushing. Was there any other question? Did you guys have any other questions, or you guys just like listening to me ramble? Can you draw Hamburg in Grimheim World? Ooh, that would be fun. Yeah, I might do that one day. If you're asking me to do that right now, I don't think I have time. But I think that would be fun. I do actually have. So we all know with the graphic novels at the very end there are cutscenes that allude to the multiverse of the Saturday AM world. So there are possibilities for crossovers in the future. So we will see what happens.
Hey Jay.
Yo, what up, man?
What's up? Fred's ready. So go ahead and we can go ahead and wrap this up for now.
Oh, all right, awesome sauce. Well, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. This is, the color of her shirt. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little ramble of mine. Thank you again for attending Saturday Con. This is day number 2. Stay tuned. The CEO of Saturday AM is going to be on very shortly, and he's going to explain everything. So yeah, I'm not sure who's in charge of this now, but I'm going to end my screen, and I hope you all enjoy. So, deuces.